for Medlin, was in the same time CCPA as a group of cooperative companies, to share with you more information and, of course, some information about the Turboviv, which since 6 months we are trying to make the maximum publicity on this product with the supplying the information. We had one webinar, something about 3 months ago. We lost the chance of having some of your gentlemen over there in the webinar. But this meeting is like a question and answer and a short introduction about the product between you guys. Will be specifically focused on the Turboviv. And if you don't mind, I will ask Dr. Rumen to start with the introduction of the product. And all the gentlemen are nutritionists from UAE, from Oman, from KSA, from Iran. And it's an amazing combination of the senior expert. And it's really a pleasure for me personally and the middle of the company. Thank you so much for everyone. Okay, Romain.
Okay. Is that going? We just try to share it properly. Is it working? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah?
Yes,
It works.
I can see it.
Thank you. So yes, I will start by a short presentation of Turboviv product. I will just show you main essential points of the product, what is the composition, why it is interesting to use the product for you and for your customer, and of course what are how it's working on a dairy cow. Just before starting, because you are all nutritionists, just before starting the presentation, maybe just a few minutes of historical positioning of the product. In CCPA, we are created by a French company, a French cooperative specific system. We a lot of farmers work together, create some cooperative to sell product, to sell milk, to make cheese, to sell animals. And 8 of this cooperative in France created CCPA more than 40 years ago to have a lab and some scientists to work on new solution. Vivactive was one of the first products CCPA developed. Now it's Turboviv. It's a little bit different from the first recipe and the first product. But main problem we had is we need some solution to protect protein. And we are also facing some problem regarding quality of forages. Average diet of dairy cows in France is based on a huge quantity of forages, but it's not a very big country, but we are very, very different area. Sometimes it's mountain between 1,000, 1,500 meters above sea level. It could be some very dry places like in the south, close to Spain, very wet and cold places close to Belgium in the north. So we had very, very different forages with not a very high quality, not high digestibility. So one of the main focus of CCPA was to develop a product to increase digestibility of these forages and to find a solution to bring some intestinal protein not too expensive. So that's the history of all the thinking and research regarding Vivactive product and also, of course, Turboviv. So what is Turboviv? Turboviv is an association of many components. One of them is tannins, natural tannins. We have also essential oils, some trace elements, and some enzymatic stimulants. This combination is why this product is interesting and why it's working on different level in the cow. So how we can, the final goal of Turboviv is to improve feed efficiency. So how we will be able to do that? First, and maybe most important point is to increase protein yield. So in different way. First one is to have a direct protection of the protein in the rumen. So we will protect one part of the RDP to create some intestinal protein. And this window is. Um, this will be mainly done by tannins and trace elements. We will also have an activity on global fermentation and the population of flora in the rumen with specific essential oils. So we will act on this flora. We will decrease, for example, activity of protozoa. And depending on the product, we can also have some pH activity in the rumen. So first thing will be increase protein yield. Second will be increase energy, mainly coming from the rumen, so volatile fatty acid. So what we want to do for the cow is to reduce the loss of energy. For example, methane, which is a big loss of energy in the rumen. And at the end, we want to increase the cellulosis digestibility. Last effect, when if we have more microbial protein, more volatile fatty acid, we also want to have a good intestinal digestibility. So we will try to increase with enzymatic stimulant the activity of several enzymes and also salivary power of the animal. So this is how we will work to have better feed efficiency with Turboviv. Now, if I start by all the elements, first one is tannins. So tannins, basically, it's only to protect protein. So we have some protein entering the rumen, and tannins will bind this protein. So it's not heat treatment, it's not pressure treatment, it's not a reaction with sugar and everything else. This will be only external link and hydrogen bond. So it's a soft, tiny bond. We will protect and agglomerate this protein in the rumen. Because of this external link and this hydrogen bond, they are very sensitive to pH. So when the protein will go through abomasum, pH will decrease a lot. And in abomasum, this protection will be totally stopped. And we will have the 100% free protein coming in the intestine. So we will not change the 3D structure of the protein. When we hit the protein, we know hitting protein is a high efficiency to protect protein from ruminal degradation. But other problem is sometimes you are protecting too much, or sometimes you are changing the global structure of the protein, so reduce the digestibility of the amino acid in the intestine. With tannins, you don't have this problem, so that's why we're using it. And I will show you we have a kind of linear effect of the protection of protein by the tannins. So at the end, we have totally digestible protein in the gut, so we can have a very good assimilation of amino acid through the intestine. We will be able to protect only protein and peptide. We are not able to protect amino acid or ammonia. So in our system, this protection will work only on protein and peptide, so polypeptide and peptide. If you use some amino acid, if you use some non-protein nitrogen like urea or ammonium sulfate, of course, we will have no effect on this regarding the protection. This is only protection of tannins. On this graph, it's what I told you. We measure the quantity of ammonia released depending on the dosage of tannins. What we can see, and it's very interesting for us, there is kind of linear effect of the protection. The more you put tannins, more you have protection of ammonia. And Shervin, I don't know if you sent the trial we did in yes, I think you sent it. We did last year in Paris. We compared two formula of Turboviv, And the only difference was sources of tannins for French market. So we did a lot of trials and experiment in artificial rumen with French Institute, INRA, and we are able to predict this linear effect for each kind of tannins we are using. So depending how you want to protect protein, depending what is your diet, depending the country, depending the milk production, we are able to say what is the minimum, maximum dosage you can use and what will be the average effect regarding metabolizable protein in your diet. So this, I don't need to explain to you why we want to protect protein. We know several things. First one, we know that one part of the metabolizable protein is coming from the rumen. It depends on the diet, but it can be between 1.5 to 1.7 kilogram of metabolizable protein, which is around maintenance needs plus 15 to 20 liters of milk. If you want to produce more milk, you need intestinal protein. This is a kind of basic information. Um, Biggest problem biggest interest we have to protect protein also is assimilation of protein is really much effective in the rumen, so in the intestine, sorry. So if we are able to decrease little bit RDP and to increase RUP, just only regarding efficiency of protein, we can save some protein. And last effect we have when we increase intestinal protein, we have effect on intestinal pH also. And increasing RUP level will help to have a better amylase activity, and we can improve intestinal digestion of starch. So I don't know if you look at that, but it's also interesting to have this idea when you have diets with a huge level of bypass starch like corn grain, and I know you use kind of a lot. So this is what I told you. It's average microbial crude protein flow from the rumen, depending on the cow. But you can bring 50% of the needs from the rumen, and the other part will be on the intestine. And we know we cannot increase the volume of the rumen. We cannot increase too much CP percentage in the diet. So at the end, we need to bring some amino acid in the intestine. Just a warning, I don't know if some of you, I don't know you, I'm sorry, I don't know if some of you are using some tannins. In some country, it's the case. We are using different kind of tannins. All of them have some interest, but they don't have same effect. So we cannot compare each tannins, and of course, they will have a totally different effect on the protein protection, different effect on the gut, direction also on the fermentation. So that's why sometimes people are just asking to me about chestnut tannins because it's much maybe most famous. But yeah, all of them are very different effects. So if I want to show you how it's work, it's okay, but maybe you need to have also some proof of efficiency. We did a trial in the US. We compare a soy diet with normal soybean meal, with soy plus, and with Rumiviv. Rumiviv, it's only the tannins part of Turboviv. It's only to protect protein. It's a product we use, for example, sometime in France for grazing area, and we use also in many countries for very high production cows. So instead of putting some soy plus in the diet for high production group, we put only tannins in the diet. So the goal of this trial was to compare efficiency. We wanted to show that we can do as well as good as soy plus, and it's what we did. We obtained pretty much same results than soy plus. In this case, it was a 1.9 kilogram milk more, but it's pretty much the same. And regarding feed efficiency, we increase it also. So scientifically, it was very interesting for us because we can show everyone now we have the same protection than soy plus technology, for example. I don't know if you know Soy Plus or if you use it. You most probably know it. We were interested to do that because it's kind of American gold standard. A lot of farm are using it. And it's interesting for us because we compare some industrial process with heat and pressure to a natural process with only tannins. And Soy Plus is famous all around the world. Sometimes it's not exactly the same name, but it's exactly the same process. And if we compare the degradability of protein, it's around 40% of protein which are degradable in the rumen with Soy Plus, when basic soybean meal is around 70%. So with Rumiviv in this trial or Turboviv, we're able to protect as well as Soy Plus if we want. I know Shavin attached a lot of trials. I don't remember, Shavin, if you put this one, but if not, I can send it to you. So we were very happy to show that we are able to protect as well as Soy Plus, but there is also one interest. If you look at the graph on the left, we also measure a total amount of volatile fatty acid. We know if we are protecting too much ruminal protein, if we don't have enough ruminal protein, at the end we will decrease fermentation and we will decrease the production of volatile fatty acid. And with these tannins, we don't have this effect. In many trials, and also 15 years ago with INRA, we show that some tannins have kind of good effect on ruminal fermentation. And to be honest, we don't know why exactly, but some tannins are able to protect protein and have little positive effect on volatile fatty acid production. And it's why we show on this trial in South Dakota also, with the protection of Rumiviv, we have even more volatile fatty acid than with the control soybean meal. So double interest. We create metabolizable protein, and we have no negative effect on fermentation. We even have better effect. So this is the most interesting thing we have to protect protein with tannins. Now, after protecting protein, we have also a blend of essential oils in Turboviv. When we look in ruminal artificial rumen, the microbial protein flow in the duodenum. In this trial, we compare different CCPA feed solution. So you have Turboviv, it's the second one, just after the control. And of course, with Turboviv, we increase total protein flow through the duodenum. So we increase the microbial protein arriving in the gut. And this is the final goal. This is what we want to obtain. And I will show you why just after that. If we look on volatile fatty acid, essential oils blend of Turboviv will have two main effects. One first effect will be to act like a kind of booster of global fermentation in the rumen. So you will increase all volatile fatty acid. But when we measure all the volatile fatty acid, it's mainly acetic acid which will increase. And we know that with the same diet, when we put Turboviv on top, we increase all the time C2 volatile fatty acid, so acetic acid. And at the end, we can explain it because we have a higher digestibility of fiber. But global volatile fatty acid production will increase. One part of the explanation is this one. When we know that after feeding, the dairy cow will have an increase of population of protozoa, and this we want to avoid. We don't want to kill all the protozoa. Turboviv is not an antibiotic. We just want to regulate a little bit the population of protozoa. There are many interests to do that. First interest, when you have too many protozoa, they will consume some carbohydrates, so it will reduce the quantity of food available for the bacteria. So if we have less protozoa, we will have higher level of global ruminal bacteria, And with this higher level of bacteria and higher level of availability of carbohydrate, we can produce more volatile fatty acid. Something else is happening, I didn't put there, but the protozoa are also well known to be able to cut the protein. And if we reduce little bit the number of protozoa, we are also protecting little bit proteolysis in the rumen. So we will save also a little bit of protein with this system. Yeah, so it's totally complementary to tannin protection. Um, with this effect and when we measure the emission of methane, when we did that first time, it was in 2010. We did experiments to show the effect of Turboviv, and we noticed a decrease in methane emission. We didn't do that for environmental goal. It was just a measurement of efficiency of carbohydrate in the rumen. And we measure a diminution by 6.3% of methane. And this is mostly coming from the reduction of protozoa flora. And also, we think, and now we have few information more, reduction of archaeobacteria. So if we save methane, it's good for environment, but it's also very good for the global efficiency of the dairy cow because we are less, we will use carbohydrate for something else and mainly to produce volatile fatty acid. Now, this is the effect we have on the rumen. I didn't put there, but I will tell you also a little bit about the saliva. A few years ago, we chose to add in this product some enzyme stimulators because we know we are increasing amount of protein going in the intestine. We want also to digest the starch, for example, we have in the intestine. So we put some enzyme stimulators. This is mainly a blend of spices, of different spices. These spices will act on production of some enzymes. For example, you have in this trial production of lipase or activity of lipase, activity of trypsin or chymotrypsin, which are able to digest protein. So we have also activity of amylase. We will be able to digest with more efficiency fat, protein, and starch. Some of these spices, it's really kind of new results, but we have also some very good effect on the global inflammation of the gut. So we are also saving some energy because if you reduce inflammation, you save a lot of energy available for the cow. This is just a kind of schematic explanation of the amylase functionment. When you have a production of bile, the goal is to increase pH of the intestine because abomasum pH is very low, and we need to have a pH around 7 in a gut. And to have the higher activity of amylase, we need that very good pH. But sometimes when you have some issues in the rumen, you have also fermentation in the gut. You can have a lower pH and lower efficiency of amylase. So these spices will improve the start digestion by increasing amylase secretion, and if we are also saving some if we are also saving some protein and increasing intestinal protein, we have also buffer effect. So we will protect this pH from a drop because of bad fermentation. So when we did trials and we measure starch in the feces, we can notice a decrease of starch in feces. So we can use higher level, for example, of bypass starch if we want. It's not a problem, and we know in some high production diets it could be a problem to increase into high level bypass starch. Last effect of these spices is regarding saliva. When we measure the quantity of saliva It's a green part of the graph. And in blue, the pH of saliva. We know that some spices are able to increase salivation of the cow and also increase pH of this saliva. So it will be very interesting for us to protect rumen from acidosis. It will be kind of indirect buffer effect on the cow. I don't know so if some of you were at the last webinar, but we talk about its stress and interest of salivation and some spices. We use that in Turboviv also to improve global fermentation in the rumen. It was just presentation of each part of the product, and the goal of the meeting is to have some discussion after that. Just for you, how to use Vivactive in practice, because in CCPA, of course, we know it's working, but even the best product in the world, if it's not used the perfect way, you will be disappointed by the result. So something we are able to give you, we have specific metrics we calculate in different feeding system, French, American, many country. So we're able to put the effect directly on a matrix. So we know what quantity of net energy and what quantity of metabolizable protein we are improving in the diet by using this technology. So we can supply you a specific matrix. We have matrix regarding all the components, including amino acid, of course, and also kinetic of the protein and starch. So I will not take a lot of time to explain that, but if you need any explanation on your feeding system, on your software, on your diets, we can talk about that, of course. How we use in a diet. So the global dosage of the product is around the 4 gram per 100 kilogram of live weight of animals. So 25 to 30 gram per day per dairy cow. If we use this matrix, you will see on the right on the blue graph how many liters of milk we are Turboviv allowed to produce. So if we take care only about intestinal protein, we can increase. Oh, I would say differently. If we take care only about metabolizable protein, Turboviv in average diet is able to cover 2.7 liters of milk. But we need two things: enough energy, because we are able to save only energy for 1 kilogram of milk. And the last thing I put is we need to have enough RDP, because we will protect protein. If we don't have enough RDP from the start, or if energy is limiting factor, it's a little bit like amino acid. If you put some methionine in the diet, if you don't have enough protein or you don't have enough energy, you will see no result. Yeah, we say, okay, protecting protein is bullshit, it's not working. With Turboviv, it's a little bit the same. We know it's working. We know we will increase fermentation in the rumen, but we need to have already enough protein, enough fast ruminal protein, and enough energy. So basically, if you don't have enough energy, maybe you will obtain 0.9 liter of milk more. If you don't have enough protein, maybe you will obtain nothing. Because if it's already limiting factor, maybe you will see no result. So it's working very well if you have enough protein and enough energy. I insist a lot on that because sometimes we have issues because of that. When we are working with nutritionists, it's very easy because for you it's something kind of basic. You will understand very quickly. It's the same when you are switching soybean meal by soy plus, for example. If you don't have enough RDP, you put soy plus, it's not working. You will not produce more milk. But when we are working with some distributors and only commercial teams, there are no nutritionists in the team. Sometimes there are some mistake because of that, and sometimes it's not that easy because of we don't know sometimes exact quality of the forages. We are changing silage, so yes, this is very important. So if we want to solve a little bit or to reduce the risk, something we can advise you is to increase a little bit global energy when you are using Turboviv. So for example, if you put 0.7 kilo of barley, I put barley, but it could be count grain what you want. But if we increase a little bit energy of the diet, we can expect better return on invest and better result of Turboviv. So this is what I can advise you to do. If you already have a lot of energy in some diets, if you have already enough very good corn silage, it will be easier for you. You don't need to put more energy, but it's very, very important to check on your software what is the limiting factor of the diet. So this I will go very quickly, but at the end, what is the goal? The final goal is to increase global feed efficiency regarding energy and protein for the dairy cow. In your case, but you are working with other ruminants. If we are using, for example, for feed factory, or if you cannot increase milk production, sometimes you cannot increase because forages are not very good. You know, energy is your limiting factor and you will not be able to produce more. You can also choose to put Turboviv inside and sometimes reduce the global amount of protein to save money. So this is also what we can do. And when we are working with a feed compounder in France or in many countries, sometimes we are also trying to do that. So it's yes, we really have to think about what we want to do with global milk prices in the world right now. Of course, a lot of customers try to increase milk production because regarding economical interest, it's much more interesting to increase milk production right now, of course. I don't know if I will show you some trial results, but we have many trials with good result. Maybe we can talk about maybe about a question now. It will be more interesting for you, I think.
Yes, Romain, thank you so much. That's why I wanted to, as gentlemen, to start having a brainstorm and questions around the case. And definitely after that, I think we can share, if you don't mind, we can share the farm trial, or you can refer to the farm trial after the question if you don't mind. Yes?
Yeah, of course.
Again, thank you so much, gentlemen. I didn't see Dr. Osman. I'm saying hi to Dr. Osman. So we are at your disposal. Any question? And definitely we have many conversation and discussion over here. Please.
Hi, everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry I did join only a few minutes late, but I did listen to the lecture. It was nice, and it's good to have all this information about the complexes.
Thank you very much, Osman.
Yeah. Maybe a question from my side, if you guys allow me.
Sure.
So first of all, thank you, Romain, so much for the product, and thanks a lot for explaining a little bit more about CCPA and a little bit about the product itself. And I do appreciate the invite, Dr. Shervin, as well. So thank you so much for this. So the question is, I will just take one question because I have three questions. So I will just take one question to allow everyone to ask their questions. So if I'm using protected urea, okay,
Yes.
so do we need to have an adjustment, or will be there any impact from Turboviv in there or not? Because I didn't see that going through the presentation. So can you explain a little bit the role of Turboviv when we are using protected urea?
Yes, thank you. It's a very interesting question. Indeed, a lot of our customers are also using protected urea. Protected urea is you will protect urea from normal degradation, which is very, very quick. It's like for between 300 to 400% per hour. So all your urea will be degraded in 15 minutes. When we use protected urea, when you use, I don't know which one is it, but you will reduce a little bit this rate of degradation with most of the time it could be fat or chemical matrix to protect it. But at the end, you will use only urea. So urea will be very quickly cut by hydrolysis in ammonia. And all the components in Turboviv will have no effect on that because at the end you will still have urea, protected or not. So we have no effect on that. Interest to use Turboviv when you are using protected urea is with protected urea you will increase RDP in the diet, and it's kind of cheap RDP. That is the main interest of urea, not the only one, but the main one. And by using Turboviv, you can use this extra RDP, protect the other part of protein you have in your diet, and create some protected and degradable protein. But you will have no effect on your urea, no, not at all.
Very good. Thank you so much for this.
I was
Please.
looking at the mailings, the Dahl Orsoleta et al. 2025 EEAP,
Yeah.
and it appears that the trial that's written up has not been completed yet.
Yeah, no.
There's a
It's
bit of an issue with that if it gets published
yeah.
before it happens.
It's very interesting because Shavin sent me a message about that now. Yes, we did the trial in 2024. I have the full trial report if you want. No, we did that in 2024, not 2025, of course. This trial we did in a very specific purpose, but we compared two kinds of Turboviv. There is a normal one, the one we use for Medlin, and AOP1. AOP, it's protected origin cheese from France,
Right.
and some raw material are not allowed. In fact, it's not raw material. Some tannins need to be have a maximum quantity allowed in France. It's a new European regulation because, as you know, in Europe we love to put rules everywhere. So we have to choose to test a new formula. As I told you, we know the efficiency of each tannins, so we can switch from one tannins to the other if we want. Of course, we don't do in the in the normal formula because we think the perfect mix. And for this specific purpose, we did a new formula and we compare control with normal Turboviv with this new formula of Turboviv. So it was made end of 2024 during 4 weeks during the month of October, I think, November, maybe no October. I think it was during October, and the trial is finished, of course, and the result was interesting because we have same result in the two formula, and we use that on top. So we put only Turboviv on top. Diet was very basic one. It was corn silage, alfalfa silage. I think it was rapeseed, protected rapeseed meal, and basic mineral. And we put just 25 grams of Turboviv on top of the diet.
Mhm.
Total amount of RDP was between 100 to 103 grams per kilogram of dry matter.
Okay.
So yes, it's finished. It's a mistake from our side.
Say it. If it had been published, then it almost look like, okay, somebody's decided what's going to happen, and then the trial was run. But
Yes, right.
just a typo.
What is true in what you said, it's we hope that this will happen. But
Right.
but yes, of course it happened. We are not very surprised because we did many trials everywhere in the world. We have a lot of customers using that, and I didn't take too much time to talk about CCPA, but some people in our company are also working as a nutritionist directly in some farm, and it's
Sure.
what I am doing also. So we are also using directly Turboviv in some farm. It could be French, it could be I'm working a lot in Asia, for example. I'm working with a Vietnamese farm. We are working in Turkey. So we are also using ourselves the product directly in farms, and it's what we can observe on the field also. So we are not very surprised, but of course it's better when you are doing official trial in university to obtain a kind of perfect result. and the result was 1.7, 1.6 liter more. So yeah, it's quite close to what we obtain on average.
All right.
Very
Okay,
good.
gentlemen.
Sorry, Dr. Shervin. Maybe another question, just yeah, until we see that a little bit more of the feedback, because again, the product is very good. So that's why we are interested in asking several questions, Romain. So thank you so much for accepting this. But my question is that because sometimes some of the farms we use CVP, and some of the farm we use the BDI in order to work, the French BDI in order to work on the formulations. So do you guys have a range of what Turboviv can reduce from the OEB, the protein balance? Because how to say it, most of the farms that we are dealing with here in this region have a positive OEP. So a little bit more, let's say it like this, a little bit more extra ammonia and extra degradable protein in the rumen. So do we have a range if we used the product as per your recommendation, how much we can reduce from this positive OEP?
I can calculate, I don't know but yes, when I talk about the matrix, we know per kilogram of product, we put value per kilogram of product. So of course we know what could be the reduction of RDP. I can calculate. We reduce depending on the intake, depending on several things, but it's around 4 gram per kilo dry matter, the reduction of RDP. So if you add 103, 104 gram, you will obtain 100 gram after this protection. It's I can show you the matrix, but yeah, its average is around 4 to 5 gram reduction. So that's why I told you it's important to have enough RDP when you start, and it could be interesting to use, for example, protected urea to be sure, because if you reduce by 4 gram, if you have only 95 at the start,
Yeah.
you will be 91, and 19.5 could be okay because sometimes prediction of RDP is not easy because when cow producing a lot of milk, if they are producing a lot of milk or not, the the passage rate of the diet is totally different. So yeah, it could be a little bit different depending on the milk production. But that's why it's very important. And we already had some bad result on the field because of that.
Okay.
Mainly
Thank
when
you.
you have a high production cow. If
Yeah.
you are even American software are better than most of the European one for that because it's not linear calculation. So they are predicting the rate of passage of the diet. But some very, very high production cow, one of my customer in France is producing 51 right now. And we notice that we need to bring extra RDP because passage rate is higher than expected. It's my conclusion. I think it's not scientifically based 100%, but I think we need a little bit of extra RDP.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're doing in the high performance dairy cow. Yeah, for sure. That's why we use a protected urea for those, especially for those ones.
Yes. Yes, I'm doing the same. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Osman, Frank, Ehsan.
Hello, Romain. Thank you for your presentation. I have some questions from your nice data. If I'm not mistaken, you said that this product has 8.5 grams of lysine per each 25 grams. Yep. My question is that why you don't have any methane in this product.
No,
And
in fact,
didn't
yes,
focus.
thank you for the question. You are totally right. You are totally right, and it's not totally true. I put lysine on it. In fact, in the product, in the label, in the chemical analysis of the product, we have no amino acid.
Mhm.
It's only the effect of the protection of RDP. But of course, it will depend on the diet you will protect. So that's why we put value of amino acid, because it's we have a protection of the protein. It's like when you are using some soy plus or soy prim or whatever the protected protein you use, you have also increased value of digestible amino acid because it's protected protein. But in
Uh-huh.
fact, we will protect the global diet. And it's a very interesting question, because if you want to work on amino acid, on protein efficiency, there is two possibilities. First one, increase the total amount of amino acid, which means protecting protein is the cheapest way, and you will bring all the amino acid. And the first amino acid you will need to supply on top will be methionine, of course. So yes, we will increase the total amount, but not the proportion of amino acid. So if you don't have enough amino acid in the diet, we will not create only one amino acid, of course. We will just protect the total protein.
Mhm.
So yes, and you can use amino acid with Turboviv. It's not a problem. It's even, of course, it's working very well together, because we have no effect at all on amino acid you can put on a diet.
Okay. Another question, if you don't mind. What was the exact difference between a normal Turboviv and AOP product? It
Or
was just a source of tannin or
no, yes,
something
difference
else?
is very small. I will not give you everything, but we are using a mix of several tannins, and one of these tannins is quebracho tannins.
Mm-hmm.
Quebracho tannins is used also for wine making, and some one specific to put some tannins in a wine to give color. Also, they use some quebracho tannins. I cannot give you all the secret of a winemaker of France, but in Europe they put a new law regarding the maximum dosage of these tannins used for food consumption for humans. So we need to have a specific amount in our product, and we cannot go above this amount. So we replace, it's something like 20% of the tannins, the quebracho tannins we use, by a mix of two other tannins. That's all. So 80% of the tannins, and I would say all the other part regarding spices and essential oils is the same, totally same. We just switch little bits a mix of tannins. And that's why we did the trial, because a lot of French farmers in France, 90% of the milk will be used for cheese making, which is a lot. So a lot of them, it's specific DOP cheese. So we need to adapt the formula because of that. That's
Mm-hmm.
why. And we pay the university to make this trial, to have official trial. So we put a little bit extra money to have also other trial with normal Turboviv. So, that is a global thinking of the trial.
Yeah. And if not, sorry for asking too many questions. If I'm not mistaken, you said that you have a customer in France with the average milk production of 51 kilograms, yes?
Yes, it was, but they are changing diet, they are changing silage. I think they will decrease, but yes.
I got it. How much Turboviv they used in the ration, and did you change the basic ration for them to include your product in the ration, or
Now
just
we,
it was top fit?
yeah, most of the time we adapt Turboviv on two factors. First one is global size of animals and milk production. We have some farmers producing 25 kg in France because they're making cheese. Most of the time we use 25 gram of Turboviv. When animals are a little bit bigger with a higher intake, we can increase until 30 gram, not more. We can also choose to decrease a little bit if we don't want to protect too much. Um, as I spoke about 4 gram less RDP per kilogram. If you already have not enough RDP or just limiting factor, you can choose to use maybe only 20 gram of Turboviv. And for this guy, we use Turboviv and we use extra rumen on top, which is
Mhm.
extra tannins on top because he use a lot of grass silage. We have a huge amount of very rapid protein, and we need extra protection on this one.
Mhm. As you mentioned that changing diet and changing the corn silage led to your customer milk production went down. Yep. Here in
I think.
Iran, yeah, yeah. Here in Iran, we have the same problem, and forage quality is not good. So, do you think that under this situation, the turbo can work for us? Because the forage quality, not alfalfa, no, not the corn silage, I mean dry matter, and the general quality is very, very weak in Iran. For example, let's say we have corn silage in Iran with 18 to 22% dry matter, which is not
Oh,
similar
yeah.
to what happened in the Europe or in the US with more than 30% dry matter. So under this situation, do you think that the Turboviv can deal with our problem
Um,
and help us?
if I was a commercial guy, I would say yes, of course, 100%. No, the main interest of Turboviv is it's to increase digestibility of forages. But of course, if we have a bad quality one, we cannot do a kind of miracle. I think it will help. Only issue you can have with very wet silage is the degradability of starch. So if you are very green corn silage, the starch will
Yeah.
be very high degradability. And can have issues of acidosis also. I don't know
But the
about your
starch
diet and
content of corn silage is very low. Uh, I said the corn silage content of our corn silage, the starch content of our corn
yeah.
silage percent, not too much.
Yes, of course it's low because corn is not dry mature enough. Yes, but
Yeah,
yeah, where Turbovi is working very well is when you have huge quantity of fiber and most of the time slow sources of starch and slow sources of carbohydrate. This is working very well. So I think in your diet it will help a lot. If you have huge amount of very fast starch, for example, or very it's a little bit different because the limiting factor will be acidosis and will be not only acidosis, it will be change of pH in the rumen. But in your case, I think it will probably help a lot. I think so, yes.
hmm.
It depends
And
which starch you use beside it, but if you use a lot of corn grain starch, it can help a lot, I think.
Okay, and the last question, do you think if we are going to use this product in Iran, do we need that change or rechange the diet of each customer? I mean, do we need to take the ration sent to you or the CCPA and change the ration according to Turboviv properties or
No,
not?
no, 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 no. Fortunately not, because we cannot do all the diet of the world, and sometimes you guys are better than us to calculate diets because you know your country very well, you know your salad, your animals. So we will not help you to calculate diets because okay, calculating diet
Okay,
is
I got
something,
it.
knowing the farm it's something else. No, no. If you have some just kind of basic tips like just minimum requirement of RDP, impact on RDP, minimum requirement of carbohydrate, I would say the same. If you have less than 40% of ruminal carbohydrate, you can have issues, but it's not because of Turboviv. It's in all the diets you can have this issue.
Yeah.
But main problem for Turboviv it's regarding protein protection. So to protect protein, you need to have enough. It's only limiting factor. And if you have very, very high level of carbohydrate, very high risk of acidosis, you can also have some issues because Turboviv will not help you to reduce acidosis. We have a specific product for that, which will reduce activity of amylolytic flora. Turboviv will be kind of booster. You will increase volatile fatty acid. So if you are really on the edge of acidosis, you can have bad effect on that because you will create more volatile fatty acid. It's
I know.
only thing I will take care, but you don't need to change all the diets. Of course not. Of course not.
Okay. Thank you very much for your
You're welcome.
explanation.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Usman, Frank Delfino, your question would be highly appreciated.
Yeah, no, everything is good, Shireen. I don't have any question. I'm very happy with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Usman. Thank you.
Yep, still waiting. Was still waiting through the stuff that you sent, since it was a little late last night. But presentation was interesting. When I spoke with you when it was in Dubai, I was talking about possibly running this through another in vitro system. We can talk a little bit more about that at another point. But with what Romain is saying about increase in VFAs and potentially reduction in methane, and increase in bypass protein, will you also get an increase in, I think I did hear you say you potentially we get an increase in microbial protein production as well, with increase in VFAs, right?
Yeah, of course. We increase the total amount of microbial protein, so total amount of bacteria. So at the end, we will
Right.
increase the amount of yeah.
Okay.
Erwin,
Sorry, Frank. Still, I told that.
can I ask another question? I promise this is the last one.
Hassan, I think Frank had a question. He was asking, please, after Frank, Hassan.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks.
I'm finished.
Thank you, Frank. Hassan, please.
Romain, in one of the file Sherwin sent us today, this morning, I think there was a mechanism by which the trace mineral can protect protein with the collaboration with tannin. This is the special trace mineral in your product, or every trace mineral can have this effect to protect the protein.
Yeah, not all trace mineral can have this effect. Some of them have it. This the story of trace mineral. We keep this trace mineral because it's kind of complementary with tannins, and it was something INRA, so French Institute, developed many years ago to reduce the use of formaldehyde to protect protein. And this trace element will link inside of the protein a little bit, it will connect some part of the protein and reduce the degradability. So it's kind of complementary because, as I show, you will have a bond inside the protein with a trace element, and you will have kind of tannin matrix around the protein. So it's interesting to keep both elements. We can protect only with tannins. We can do that. It's something we can do, but we prefer to keep this kind of good complementary effect. That's why. But yes, it's not the main element for the protection, but we know it's helping to protect protein. So we keep it.
Great.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. If there is no question, Romain, you can continue with the trials and we show the trials that you stopped at the beginning. Okay?
Oh, yes, yes. I didn't put trials to show. It was a mix of the trial. I can show the last one if you want from 2024 and not 2025. If you want, I don't know what you will prefer to see. Or maybe a trial in a farm. I don't know. Maybe it's
If gentlemen would like, we can continue like that. Please comment.
I can show you a trial we did in Turkey if you want. I just have to open it. We did that in Sutaş farm. I don't know if you know this farm. It's I think the biggest farm in Turkey. We show it. I will show you this one. Just open it.
Which one of the Sutash farms?
It's a good question. Which one? Because there are a lot. They did. It's not my colleague is working with Turkey. It's not me. I don't know. It's one of their farms. So I think they have in five different places. I think.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know if I just open it. Oh yes, I will tell you which one. Caracabey
Okay.
near Bursa.
Yep, I know I know
You know
that one.
it? Okay, I will show you. I will share with you. Hop là. Let me do that. So my window is a little bit hiding everything. I don't know why.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, it's better. So yes, we did this trial in end of 2022. We work with this company for many years. Maybe we mainly before we work on heat stress product Thermoplus. Some of you know about that. Sutash. We also cooperate on some R&D topics with this company, and they were interested, of course, to try Turboviv on their farm, one of their farm, and also because they are producing some concentrate. So, as some of you know, Sutash is a big company. They are farming in 5 different places, and they have also some feed plants. So we are collaborating with them since this trial on Turboviv. To be honest, not for all the cow, not for all the concentrate. Yes, inside, of course, inside of this big company, some part are also a little bit confidential, so we don't know everything, and we cannot say everything also. So the trial they did with my colleague was in Caracabey farm. I don't know if my pronunciation is correct. So it's a farm with 2,000 dairy cow, producing around 12,000 liter per cow per day. So they use Turboviv in a test diet, and the goal of this diet was to reduce a little bit the feed cost and optimize the global formula with Turboviv. So I will go. Where I can show you the formula, but this is in French system. I will show you some other interesting things. Yeah, maybe I can show you that. This is a curve of the milk production between 22 of September and 23 of November. So in blue you have the control, in green you have the test. So they start to use 23 of September. I don't know. I don't remember why they had this difference, but when they group the cow, it was same production. What is very interesting to notice also, if you want to try in your farm, it's we have kind of first period of three weeks around where there are different results. Then we obtain same milk production, and after 1 month of trial, 23 of October, you start to have a difference of milk production. In this trial, the goal was not to increase milk, it was to have same amount of milk with a decrease of feed cost. But what is very important to show, it's this part, because if you start to use Turboviv in your diet, as Turboviv is working on microbial flora in the rumen, you need 3-4 weeks to obtain results. So it's not instant results. So you need to wait a little bit. Hopla. So if we do a statistic analysis of this trial, we have this 3 period, and we obtain 1 more liter of milk during the third period. And after that, of course, we stop the trial, but and we save money on this. I can go back if you want. I can show you. It was in Turkish era. So in this diet, they optimize little bit the diet. This is a percentage in the concentrate, so 0.18% in a concentrate. I don't know which quantities they use. But yes, they modify the concentrate for the farm to reduce the cost. So it was the main interest. And they just wanted to obtain same amount of milk. I cannot, I don't did the calculation, how many dollars it's that. And they obtain little bit milk more during the third part of the trial. And it's why they are still using the product. They choose a strategy to save little bit of money. They reduce little bit fat, they reduce little bit protein, and they produce same quantity of milk. And they keep doing that so far.
It's about $3.37 or 12.37 lira.
Okay. Thank you very much.
140 Turkish lira, yes.
Yeah, it was their main interest. After it was in 2022, cost of raw materials was different, price of milk also. So maybe now it will be better just to use to increase milk production. But it's a two different way we can use Turboviv, and they use little bit in the middle. So it's just a farm trial. It's not a university trial. I can show you the trial in 2024. This one is the one you sent. It's a trial we did in French University in Paris in 2024 and 2025. I have the full report, but sorry, it's too small, I think, to show you. Can you see it, or it's too small? I just wanted to. For those who didn't look at this, it's a trial we did in Paris. So it was a basic diet. Milk production was around 35 liters of milk. Diet with corn silage, alfalfa silage, rapeseed meal. And we just put the Turboviv on top, 25 grams of Turboviv on top. So two different formula. We'll talk about that. But this is the formula we use in all the country. What is interesting when we compare is the increase of milk. So we produce 2 liters more milk with Turboviv. We changed nothing in the diet. Diet was already well balanced. We had enough energy in this diet, even a little bit extra energy in this diet, little bit more than 100 grams per kg of RDP. We just put Turboviv on top, and this is the result we obtain. If you have some specific question on this trial, I can show you maybe more details, but it's exactly what we expect by using Turboviv. It's to produce 1.5, 2 liter more milk if you have no too many limiting factor, if the cow has the genetical level, if you have no acidosis, and that's all. But it's not perfect trial. It's, I would say, typical expected trial. So energy collected milk gain was 1.3. We had, if I remember well, we decreased a little bit fat content. And intake of this diet was 2027. We have no effect on global intake of the cow. We will not increase intake. We have no interaction on global intake of the TMR, but we will increase a little bit efficiency. Same regarding urea in milk or somatic cells. We have no specific expectation. We have no good or bad result. This will not change. I don't know if fat content is important for you in your country, but yeah, this will not increase fat in milk. It will not you increase total fat production. You can increase total fat production because you increase milk, but yeah, most of the time you can dilute a little bit because you increase milk production.
If there is no question, of course, Romain, you can ask about some structural farming issues in GCC, in Iran, in KSA, in UAE, and to understand a little bit more about the items which may be related to this product.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know you guys yet. So if you want to start trials, if you want, because it's always important to have a good result on the first trials, and I think best way is to maybe exchange on a diet on a farm and talk about the diet, and it will be very very easy for you to understand what is a few things you have to check. But I can advise you for the first trials just to maybe collaborate a little bit deeply and exchange about diets. We can do that, of course. I don't know which software you use. Even if you use American system, it's okay. In some of them, we put some metrics also. But yeah, if you want to do something, if you have some, I don't know, some privacy question and everything, we can sign NDAs. We are used to collaborate with different company in different countries, so we can sign NDA if you prefer. It's not a problem at all. But yes, I will just advise if you want maybe to exchange a little bit about the diet, calculate maybe together, talk about the farm, and we can do the trial together. Maybe just something not to do is to be, I think maybe obvious for you, but not to start trial for the low production group, not to start trial for cows, I don't know, who are above 150 days in milk. because when you are saving protein, it's more important for beginning of lactation, of course. So it's like protected source of protein or like amino acid. If you put soy plus on dry cows, you cannot expect higher milk production. But yeah, if you have any question, even after this, do not hesitate to send a question to Shavin or to myself. We will try to answer.
Of course, if you don't mind, let me, maybe it's my fault that I couldn't have because people are joined respectively. So first of all, I would like to introduce the gentlemen to remain. Frank Delfino is the international nutritionist. He's working from Southeast Asia to GCC, and definitely he can explain more. Dr. Osman is the general manager of the National Dairy Farm and Masakin Dairy Farm, the biggest and most qualified, let's say for me, beautiful, amazing farm I have ever seen. It's
Oh,
appreciated.
interesting.
Ahmad Tawfiq is the one of the best in KSA with the big farms and nutritional consultant and operational. Ehsan is in the big group of the dairies in Iran with a total of 110,000 dairy cow. Of course, maybe he's covering 55,000. Let's gentlemen explain a little bit more about that. If they want, if they wish, it's going to be appreciated to know more.
Of course, yes, of course. I don't know your country, so with pleasure.
Please, Frank Osman.
I think you probably did a pretty good description, so I don't really have a lot more to say.
In which country in Asia you are working?
I work in China. I work in
Okay.
Thailand. Um, those are the two primary ones right now, and also in the Middle East and currently in Saudi Arabia. Some in some of the Emirates and Oman. A little bit in Turkey. A little bit in Morocco.
Okay.
Few places.
Yes, few places. And you are working with kernel software, AMTS?
I work with I use NDS.
NDS, okay.
Yes.
We
Which
have I created a matrix on NDS. It's not
oh
100,
wonderful. Okay.
it's not 100% accurate, but if you are all of you who are working with NDS, I can send it to you. With AMTS, it's impossible. We need to go directly through Cornell University and to do trials, and it's very, 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 very costly. But on NDS, I can send you some matrix you can import if you want.
Well, actually, I was going to say you can take a lot of that into AMTS as well. So
Yeah, but AMTS, I didn't manage. I'm not specialist of. I start to work a lot on a lot. No, I start to work on this software because a lot of customer in other country are working with. So I have to be able to talk with nutritionist on this software. But I'm not
sure.
specialist of this software, not
Right.
yet. But yeah, if you, I can send you some kind of matrix on NDS. AMTS, I didn't manage to do that so far. But yeah, it could be interesting to talk about that also.
I think that's about time. I think yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to say at the end, Romain, thank you so much for the presentation. Dr. Chevin, thank you for the invite. Everyone in the call, thank you guys for your timing. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed the conversation and enjoyed as well the discussion. It was very interesting. Thank you guys so much. Definitely Turboviv will be high in the list right now.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ahmed. Ahmed, if you want, you can share a little bit about your film with gentlemen.
Sorry, I can
Sorry?
share about.
I asked Ahmed in the
Okay.
graphical it's working and something.
Sorry, this question for me, Dr. Sherman? I can't hear you well.
I asked
That's great.
gentlemen to a little bit talk about the area that you're working, the specification of the working, because there was some question about the software, some kind of the diets. Just having a short brainstorm, for Romain to understand each location, what is the specification of each location and working, and how many cow you're working.
Yeah. So what we are working is the same as Frank's mentioned. So NDS is one of the very, I would say, have a very good impact on our work. So we work a lot with this. AMTS, we only work with AMTS in a very, like I would say, very not all of the cow diets that we work with AMTS because it has its own values in certain areas. But most of the cases when you do the feed formulation, it's first NDS and then you afterwards you check it with AMTS. Some tweaks is needed there. But yeah, so that's what generally is. The kind of clients that we work with in the company is mostly focused on Egypt, Saudi Arabia, some countries as well in outside of the region like Mexico, and we even traveled to Colombia to visit some of the clients there and to see their impact of what they're doing. Some customers are also for us in Australia and New Zealand, which is completely different than
Yeah.
than we do here. The ravages there is pretty unique, I would say.
Yeah,
Let's say it like
I
that.
did 6 months, 6 months in New Zealand. Yes, totally
Yeah,
different.
exactly. So that's a little bit about what we do in the company. What we're trying to have because not all of it is dairy. Some of the customers are on beef. Some of the customers are also, interestingly, have dairy and beef. So that's an interesting challenge because you have to have a
Yeah,
wide
me too.
range of raw material. Exactly that.
Yeah, you
Not
have the same interesting problem.
Yeah, exactly. The newest thing is customers that they want to go into the dairy customer all their life, and now they want to go to sheep. So yeah, so fun.
Yeah. You are lucky you don't have too many goats.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even more complicated, goats.
Absolutely. But again, it's a pleasure to have been in this
Okay,
conversation with experts like yourselves, and I'm learning all the time from experts. So thank you guys
same
for
for
having
me.
me.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
That's anything to introduce your country and your the area that you're working. Okay, maybe at some
Yeah,
lost connection.
thank you, Dr. Shervin, for this, and Dr. Roman is really very good presentation and interesting. Thank you very much. And yeah, we will definitely investigate and look more details about this product and see what we can do in the future. Appreciated the invitation, really, and thank you for your good, nice words about National Dairy Farm.
Thank you so much, Osman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wayne, thank you for your presentation. This is Hassan again. I forgot to say that Dr. Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, was Jeff. His
Frank.
sound is Frank. His sound is kind of similar to Dr. Mike Vandenberg from Cornell University. Yeah, and as you said, I'm working as a nutritionist and consultant in Iran with more than 100,000 cows. which half of them is lactating cows in Iran. That the average meat production of all of my herds more than 43 kilograms per day. And the basic software we are using in Iran because of the lab problem we have in Iran is amino cow and NASEM 2021. And we rarely use the CNCPS, NDS, or AMCS because of lacking the nutrition analysis of feedstuff. And I really enjoyed this presentation. Anything else, Chevy? Thank you for invitation.
No, Sam, no, thank you
Yeah.
very much. The only thing is remain maybe is get back to feed the steam dairy that you are going to have in the farm trial and send some issues. Romain had he didn't get what exactly you mean about the issues with the feed the steam dairy protocol.
Feed steam. As you sent my comments to Romain.
Yeah, your
In
protocol.
Iran is not.
protocol.
Yeah. In Iran, it's quite popular that when the cow goes out of the fresh pen at 14 or 20 days after calving, we
Yeah.
don't move cows until 150 or 200 days in milk. So separating cows from the 60 days after calving until the let's say 120 days after calving and separating them is not possible in our clients' herds. So because of that, and because the feed still contain some essential oils that have anti-inflammatory effects, I think we should better to work with feed steam from the beginning of dry off, because the most popular scientists at the moment believes that the start of inflammation in transition period begins after drying off. I mean, 60 days before the calving. So because of that, and because the effects of the specific essential oil you used in feed steam, I think running an experiment with the drying cow, with dry cow, is better for us in Iran.
And yeah, we talk about that. I was in US last October with Professor Lenz Baumgart. We talk a lot about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you talk about him, but
It was my supervisor, and he knows me very well.
he's a little bit famous about this topic of inflammation. And yes, feed steam, it's we have anti-inflammatory effect, but it's not only anti-inflammatory. We have anti-apoptosis effect. So it's working during drying period, all drying period. But it's very interesting to act on milk production if you can increase the number of epithelial cells, mammary epithelial cells. So 20 days before, 40 days after calving. I don't know which trial you can do, but if you can use end of drying period and beginning of lactation, fresh cows, and if you want to continue with high production, I don't know. But if you can use during the creation of the mammary epithelial cells, it's where you will obtain the best result regarding milk production. 100%. It's always working like that. And in US, I think US are now our first customer for this product. It's the only product we sell in US. It's not easy to sell product in US. And they are using most of the time 21 days before calving until, depending on the farm, 20 days after or 150 days after. It depends on the grouping, on the groups they use.
We can use this product from the beginning of dry off, I mean 60 days before calving to 14 to 20 days after calving.
Yeah, I think it could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the US, they did comparison between the -20, +20, -20, +100. And if you continue until 100 days after calving, you will obtain better result because you will go after the peak of lactation. But the most important is 20 days before, 20 days after. So if you can do 60 days before, 20 days after, it's already good, I think. It could,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I'm pretty
Thank
optimistic
you.
on that.
Me too.
Good.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And I have same problems than you with the lab. In Europe, we only have one lab in Germany to analyze with CNCPS parameter. We will have a second in Spain, but it's same for us. We have a big. It's very difficult to have good analyze on the lab for corneal system. So I keep working on INRA system in France. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Ahmad, Ehsan, Romain,
Yeah,
of course.
thank you very much.
It was amazing presentation. I am a poultry guy, so I'm not so much in the dairy, but I like.
It's good. I know nothing about poultry.
Huh?
I know nothing about poultry. If you need help, don't call me.
Okay, if they mix me and you, they can take two normal people from that. Okay, fine, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ahmad, Ehsan, Romain. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you
it.
very much.
Yeah, this session has been recorded definitely by Allah, and thanks Allah. And we will share with you guys, everyone. And in the same time, maybe you want to share something with Frank. If you send me, I will share with Frank, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ahmed.
guys.
Have a good
Thank you very
day.
much.
Thank you.